Still trying to figure out why you don't get respect from others? Well, watch today's training because I'm going to uncover what you do to gain that respect back. So you're wondering why people don't respect you, and you're trying to figure out why your advice, your ideas, or maybe even what you're doing in your life is not being respected by your family and friends. Well, maybe you've done some things recently or over the course of time that you've actually lost respect with the people around you. So, you're starting to realize you got to do something different. Well, where do you start? Where do you do? What's the first step? And really, is this step really going to make a difference in earning this respect back? Especially when it comes to family, friends, and coworkers. They've watched you, they learned your personality, they see how you are. But you got to remember, your behavior and the way in which you act is either building respect or you are losing respect. And I've got a few things here I want you to look at that because you may not realize what you're doing to lose this respect. And all along you thought you were okay, but now you're realizing, man, no one's listening to me or my ideas are not even being considered. So let's take a look at what to actually focus on to make this change. Number one is no exaggeration. Exaggeration, it will cause you to lose respect over time, guaranteed. Every time you exaggerate on a story, a situation, a fishing trip, a particular result, or what you're doing, but when you start to stretch that truth and start to change it and manipulate it, what happens is people start to pick up on that. And you may think it's funny or it's kind of fun to do it that way, but what happens is people learn to not listen to you because they can't tell what's true. And I know sometimes we do exaggeration to gain the attention of people, but people are pretty smart. They're pretty savvy on understanding who's telling the truth and who's not. And when you're caught in those exaggerating moments, what happens is you are losing those brownie points like crazy and you are losing respect. Now, like I said, you could be using this to gain respect, thinking you're gaining the attention of others, but it's hurting you. And right now, I know you could say that you're not doing this, but you need to pay attention because you probably are, because it is the number one reason why people would not respect you, because they can't trust you. They don't know what's coming out of your mouth is true or false or partial or way overdone. They don't know. They don't know. Second one goes right along with exaggeration, is sarcasm. Sarcasm seems like it's not that big of a deal. It's that extra little, ribbon of your friends or kind of making fun of something or joking or mocking. But these top two right here will definitely cause you to lose respect. So why are they on the build respect list? Because it says, don't do this. You got to stop. But first you got to make sure you're paying attention and realizing where this is happening. And that means starting right now, pay attention to the conversations you're having with people and look for sarcasm and look for exaggeration, because you could be totally in the mix of it and not even realizing it's even happening. But that's got to start now. People who are not really concerned about respect, it'll catch up to them sooner or later. But these are the first two you want to look at. Third, to be able to build this experience, to build respect, now that you've stopped doing the two main things that are going to mess you up, is to build yourself a daily routine. A person who has a high level of obedience to self really gives off a vibe and a behavior that is to be respected. The fastest way to build respect of other people is to live a life of respect. Now, what is a daily routine? A daily routine is where you wake up in the morning and you have 3, 4, or 5 things you do in the morning, but it's on a schedule. Every morning you get up and you have this, and this that you do every single morning. And you not only are having this daily routine, but you're actually tracking yourself. Create a little chart on your phone or type yourself up a little tracking chart. Pick 3 to 5 things that maybe motivate you or build you in the morning, and you check the chart. Put a little check in each one of those boxes along the way. And then in the evening, also have a routine. So you have a routine in the morning and a routine in the evening. So you start your day off with some self-obedience and you end the day in some high level of self-obedience. Now, what happens is you begin to respect yourself because you're listening to yourself and following your own instructions. That gains self-respect, which then raises social respect. How can somebody have respect for you if you're in a level of exaggeration or sarcasm? And especially if you're not taking care of yourself by following some kind of schedule or routine. Now, how long do you do this for? Well, you do it for the rest of your life. A routine raises your self-respect. A routine builds that self-confidence and that self-mastery. And that is highly respected. So build a routine, 3 to 5 things in the morning, 3 to 5 things in the evening. I'll give you a little sample of what that might look like. Maybe you wake up in the morning and you take a moment to exercise for 15, 20 minutes. Maybe you sit down and read a book for 15, 20 minutes. If you don't have that much time, narrow it down a little bit smaller, but do something to strengthen your body, strengthen your mind, and strengthen your soul. That's a great routine. That every morning you strengthen your mind, your body, and your soul. And then in the evening before you go to sleep, strengthen your mind, your body, and your soul. And find some activities that work for you to cover those 3 different areas. And you will start to gain some self-respect, which then builds social respect. And the last one here, when it comes to literally building your respect so that others can see it and feel it, is to be sure that you're serving other people. A person that is not respected is somebody who is taking advantage of people, of their resources, their time, their intelligence. But how about you be the person who's actually the giver instead of the taker or the receiver all the time? Because somebody who serves and gives really builds up a high level of respect because you are outside of yourself and you're looking to changing and influencing other people's lives for the best. But take a look at this. These 4 different steps here is really a fast way to adjust the level of respect you're receiving in your life. If you don't take the action steps, nothing's gonna change. So to make today the day to get on one of these and pay attention to it so you can make that change happen now. Hey, so what'd you think about this training? Well, hey, give me some comments down below here and let me know what you're thinking, because my whole intention here is to help you out and where you're going, what you're facing. So, hey, click subscribe and ring the bell and check out the video I have for you tomorrow.